Hi, in this video we're going to cover Practice It, which is a set of problems from the Building Java Programs, Edition 4, and we're going to be looking at Chapter 5, and this is self-check number 1. So I'm going to go through here and I'll give you the answers, but it's going to take longer than if you just did it on your own. So I would really recommend you try it on your own. Only if you can't figure it out should you come back and watch this video, but I'll try to explain as much as I can as we go through it. So in these, this series of loops here, you have to figure out how many times it's going to execute. You could have 0, you could have infinity, you could have unknown, and you could have a number. So for this first one, we start x is equal to 1, and while x is less than 100. So what I want to do is I want to simulate in Notepad what each iteration, each time I come up here, what the x value is going to be. So let me bring up Notepad. The first time you come through, x is going to be value 1. And then it's going to print this out, and then it's going to increment x by 10. So the next time it comes back, x will be 11. And then next time it will be 21, 31, 41, 51, 61, 71. We keep on going until we get to a number that is greater than 101. So this one here is the fail. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that one. And then we have to figure out how many times that execute. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. So what we're going to do is we're going to come down here. We're going to put 10 in here. And we can go ahead and check that answer. Now, the first one passed. Obviously, I haven't done the rest of them. So that's the way you do A. Let's go try the next one with B. And I'll bring up Notepad again. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so this time, max is going to equal 10. While it's less than 10, so already the very first time it executes, it's going to fail, right? Because max is already too big. The thing about while loops that's different than for loops and do while loops is that the while gets executed as little as 0 times. And in this case, it's going to be 0. So let's go down, put 0 in there. All right, so let's take a look at C. We'll bring back, nope. Okay, so C, x is going to start at 250. And while x mod 3 doesn't equal 0. So if I divide x by 250 divided by 3 is equal to 83 remainder 1. Okay, so while it doesn't equal 0, so yes, the remainder doesn't equal 0, we're going to print. And then it's going to continue to do that same thing. So the question is, when does this ever change? X never changes. And because it never changes, it's never going to quit. So that's why you're going to have to put infinity here. So sometimes you end up with an infinite loop. Okay, got to try to avoid that. All right, let's go down to D. So for D, x is equal to 2 to start. And then we're going to continue doing it while x is less than 200. So we're going to start with x equals 2. Then it's going to print it, and then it's going to square itself. Okay, so we start at 2, and then it becomes 2 times 2, which is 4. And then we can 4 times 4, which is 16, and then 16 times 16, which is 256. And these are all great numbers that programmers need to know. They're all binary numbers. So 256 is too much, so we don't want to go that far. So we're only going to execute 3 times here. So put 3 in there. Good. All right. Next one is going to be E. So now we're dealing with some strings here. So we have word equals just A. And we're going to do it while word length is less than 10. So we're going to keep on evaluating word length until it's while it's less than 10. So the word length for A is just 1 right now. So yes, we continue. Then it's going to be B plus A plus B. Then the next loop, it's going to be B plus BAB plus B. Then it's going to be B plus BBABB and then a B. And and then we're going to do B plus BBBA, BBB, B. Then it's going to be, okay, so where are we now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so you can tell the next one, it's going to be too much. So this is testing string concatenation. It's also, no, you're using word.length. You're evaluating the method each time. I do want to give you a caution, unrelated to this problem exactly, but notice how word.length is on the left-hand side of this expression, and we want to continue to evaluate word.length. I was just doing some code today where I put word.length on the right-hand side of the expression, and I really was trying to evaluate the original length, of the string. And then here, similar to this, I was modifying the string, and I didn't think about it ahead of time, that every time I modified the string, I was comparing it to a different value. And so actually it ended up causing a bug. What you'd have to do in that case is you actually want to evaluate the word length before you get into the loop. Okay, so save what the word length is, and then you can go in and modify this string, and that saved word length can be used instead of evaluating each time. All right, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4 iterations. 1, 2, 3, 4, or no, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 iterations. Okay, so for E, there we go. All right. And now we're going to the last one, which is F. Let's get rid of that. So X is equal to 100. So while X is greater than 0. So it starts out as 100, and then it divides it by, and X is greater than 0, so it's going to continue. It's going to divide it by 2, so it'll be 50, and 25, and then 12, and then 6, and then 3, and then 3 divided by 2 is integer division, so that's actually 1, okay? And then 1 divided by 2 is actually integer 0, because it's going to be a half, but it just is going to truncate, so it ends up being 0. So how many times do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then this one doesn't count, so 7 total. Okay, so that's while loops. Yeah, that's a pretty good overview of while loops. Now, notice that all of these were just while loops. They're not do while loops. So while loops can have a minimum of 0 executions. Do while loops is if you wanted to execute it at least once. So, yep, that's self-check 5.1.